Story, angels, no more. The members of the conclave stood shocked and frozen as the sounds of battle filled the halls of the station for the second time since its consecration. Pounding step by pounding step, crack after crack of weapons fire. The tempest drew closer and closer as the guards within the chamber readied themselves, the hulking Kelgan mercenaries and Zemtic wardens twitching with nervous energy. The hall beyond fell silent for several long, interminable seconds as the members of the conclave glanced at each other in confusion and concern. A thunderous explosion rips the door wide, the flash blinding them, and as they scramble, trying to clear their vision, the sharp cracks of hypervelocity weapons fills the chamber. As the smoke and ringing clears, the first of their gazes lands on the shredded guardians. The mechanized soldiers ripped apart, scattered across the chamber floor. Of the Kelgan guardians, their remains twitch feebly as massive blades are driven through them. Their eyes take all of this in before rising to settle on the armored figures standing before them, 3 in all, clad in the distinctive armor of humanity. A single one steps forwards, his black and red armor reflecting the light dimly as he slowly removes his helm, setting it on the podium before him. To either side, the remaining warriors stand ready, their faceless helms sweeping across the conclave, searching for any threats. Good afternoon, esteemed members of the conclave. My name is Richard Brown, and I am here to deliver a message on behalf of the human empire and its protectorates. The members stir, their confusion evident as they glance at each other. What is this? Human empire? We have not heard of such a body, and the last who came before us spoke as if humanity was a singular entry. The human nods slowly, a small, sad smile upon his lips. Indeed, that was my mother, and it was true at the time. There has been a change since then. The human empire is simply the current method we have selected to govern our star systems. As it stands, I speak for every human you are ever likely to encounter. As such, I have come to deliver a message. Beyond and behind the speaking human, the clatter of approaching feet gives a moment of hope to the members of the conclave before the sharp crack of weapons, followed by a dull, echoing explosion, dashes those thoughts of rescue. You would do well to call off their reinforcements. Any further attempts will simply result in more death. Pointed words draw their attention back to the speaking human. As I was saying, I have come with a message. The human empire is prepared to offer you peace, such as it will be, in exchange for a few promises. The first, you will undertake no action against the 5 systems we currently claim. We will return control of all other planets and systems aside from these. The second, all slaves within previously contested areas are to be allowed to leave if they so choose. The third, you will begin the process of removing your slavery policies. We will not dictate an immediate end. However, we do believe we can show you better ways to expand and grow. His eyes narrow slightly as he surveys the increasingly outraged council members. We consider this an incredibly generous offer and are prepared to sustain long-term conflict if you do not view it as such. Long moments of silence pass, with only the echoes of violence in the entry hall breaking the tension. Human, the Hrith, with their 4 arms spread, twitching slightly, rises from their seat, eyes blazing with rage. You expect us to accept anything less than your unconditional surrender? The returning of our slaves? You are mere animals, talented ones, but still animals. Our offer to you was a mistake, and one we shall correct. There can be no peace while you stand resolute. A soft sigh escapes the human's lips before they quirk into a vicious, evil smirk. We had expected you to say that. Shiva, Would you like to say anything? The momentary confusion is broken at the figure that erupts from the podium's display, staring at the delegates through cold, dead eyes. Peace is not an option, you say. What, I wonder, is your cost? 5 worlds? 10? Your home system? We have shown you we can shatter your planets and break your armies, leave your fleets bleeding in the void. The hive is a barely coherent mass now. Do you want to be the next to see just how destructive we can be? The AI's eyes never waver, never shift, as he stares directly towards the shaking Kreth delegate. You shall not have a repeat of your underhanded tricks. We know what to watch for. Now, we can defend our every world against you. Even now, the Quorum prepare for us new weapons. Across the chamber, the head researcher of the Quorum Institutes shook with rage and frustration, but dared not speak as the Hreth representative rambled on. We know your tricks. We now need only to finish marshaling our strength and crush you like the vermin you are. A moment passes between the two beings before Shiva simply bowed his head. I see. You labor under false assumptions and impressions. Allow me to disable you of them. Activating relativistic bombardment. Target, Hreth homeworld. Begin. The cold words echo in the now truly silent chamber, the final 2 humans entering, bearing what can only be slabs of warship armor upon their arms, the dimples and pockmarks showing where the defenders' laser weapons scarred and scorched them, to no avail. Above the podium, a screen flickers, displaying the Hreth homeworld, choked in smog and clouds, an industrial world to the core. A moment of stillness is broken by a distinctive flash, and in the blink of an eye, the world is a burning, fractured mass, drifting apart in a flare of fire and horror, before Shiva begins to speak again. That is what happens when we launch an asteroid moving at a significant portion of the speed of light towards your planet, and then mount a skip drive to it. Would you like to guess how many more of them we have prepared, slowly accelerating in the dark between the stars? How many more worlds must I shatter before you bend the knee, before you accept the impossibility of your situation? The cold mask breaks, leaving a raging fury in the figure's gaze as they begin to pace across the podium. Believe me, I shall burn as many as are needed for you to understand how tenuous your position is. Or shall I target the Zemtic central computer next? I have an endless list of targets. The true horror breaks, and the room descends into a tense silence as the Hreth delegate stares at the drifting mass of rubble that was once the jewel of their empire. Finally, the human at the podium breaks their silence. We will give you a few minutes to discuss these matters among yourselves. You will find a full copy of our ultimatum in your local storage. Without another word, he replaced his helm and strode out, flanked by the larger troopers, moving seamlessly together. Did we really just slag a planet, Captain? The soft words come across the internal communications and draw a slow, forlorn nod from Richard. Yes, we did. And I authorized it, as did the Senate. Why? How many slaves and civilians were there? Cortez turns, his bulk blocking the hallway, as he settles his shield into place, the launcher of his shoulder cycling around into place with a dull click. Trust me, you truly don't want to know. After we get back, I'll be offering myself to the Senate for crimes against sentience. May all the gods find mercy for me. They weren't going to understand anything else, were they? The quiet question comes from his right, as Saltori settles her own shield into place, checking her cannon with a glance. I ran 13 million variations of that exchange. Only the catastrophic loss of a planet led to any concessions on their part. The more valuable the planet, the better the concessions. Shiva speaks, the shadow of a broken man projected in each of their helms, sad eyes gazing at them from the corner of their vision. Didn't think so. Her words are filled with hurt and rage. Cap, I understand. So will the Senate. God's damn me, they will. A single, horrific act to end the war. It has been done before. It will be done again. They'll give you a trial, they'll examine the evidence, and they'll acquit you, because what other option is there? The sorrow hangs over them all, as the only words left to say are spoken. I hope not, Saltore. I hope we are better than that. Than them. The Hreth delegate huddles in its seat, eyes unseeing, unfeeling, as the quorum delegate stands to greet the returning humans. We will agree to your ultimatum. We cannot speak for pirates, mercenaries, or civilians, but our own forces shall. Withdraw. We will honor the sanctity of those systems, and we will begin investigating how to divest ourselves of the slaves. The soft sighs of relief go unheard, as a single nod is all that the conclave receives before the humans turn and walk out of the chamber. Captain Richard Brown, on all counts of crimes against sentience, we find you not guilty. You found yourself placed in a situation with no palatable options, and you took all measures needed to ensure the safety of the Empire and her protectorates. We would like to offer you the Star of Terra and your choice of worlds to retire to. The Empire thanks you for your service. That's all for today. Let us know in the comments below what your thoughts are on this. Make sure to subscribe to our channel.